Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Planet Hog, where once again we are live. Yeah, man. It is Friday. It is your Friday fun day. My Friday fun day, Friday. But before we get into that, man, actually, probably this is what we're going to do because I saw a story that I definitely am going to address first because I had some strong reactions to it, right? But so I'll probably have to come back and drop another episode. It'll be a double header today, a little hog double header, double hogger, if you will. So, man, I'm in a weird space right now. I do not have my usual Kentucky oil to sip on. I need to make a pit stop today. So right now I have some fruity horse shit that my woman made for her and her friend. It's I don't know, some kind of vaginal alcoholic concoction. Um, Man, I tried to stop over at the gas station on the way back home, and I was really, for whatever reason, I was feeling like having some Angry Orchard. Haven't had that in a while, so I was like, yeah, you know what? We'll give it a shot. Can't buy booze. Can't buy booze because everyone knows the most discriminated against person in America is the night shift worker. Well, anyway, I'm going to dive into this story right here that I actually heard today when I was heading out from work. The headline from Orlando Sentinel. It's right here in Florida. Driver arrested in mall at Millenia. Shooting that targeted Orlando rap. Let me read that like I passed second grade reading. Driver arrested in mall at Millenia shooting that targeted Orlando rapper, court records say. And for those of you who are not Floridians listening to this, Millenia Mall is it's actually not bad. It's a nice little mall in a nice area. I mean, I don't go to malls for all intents and purposes. I haven't since I got out of college, but because it's where younger people hang out, and younger people are stupid and loud. And plus, I'm a fully grown adult male, 6'5", so they don't have a whole lot of stuff in there that fits me. On top of all of that, I just genuinely don't like being around large crowds of people. So for all of the above reasons, I'm not a frequenter of the malls of America. However, yeah. Wow, what the hell? I'm sorry, one of these damn ads just popped up and someone just tried to run somebody over. Anyway, yeah, I don't really mess around with malls like that. But I have gone to the Mall of Millenia once. I can't remember what it was for. But anyway, it's nice. It's in a nice area. They're trying to, keep that part of Orlando nice. But that was challenged yesterday. Looks like this is dated 15th of October. Yep. So, the story reads, let's just dive on in here. Again, the headline: Driver arrested in mall at Millenia shooting that targeted Orlando rapper, records say. Three men circled the parking lot of the Mall of Millenia for 16 minutes in a white BMW as they waited for the Orlando rapper known as, I don't know if this is Glock 9, right? I guess it is, but instead of the G, there's a 9. It is somewhat clever, but so I don't know if it's 9 Lock 9 or is it supposed to be Glock 9 with a 9. I'm going to assume it's Glock 9. And so they were waiting for a rapper known as Glock 9 and three companions to exit before opening fire outside the mall, prompting an evacuation, court records show. New details about the shooting that authorities say targeted 20-year-old Jaquavius Smith, whose stage name is pronounced Glock 9. Okay, there it was. Man, you know what? I'm sorry. 2020, satire is dead. Satire is literally dead in 2020. Do you know why? Because again, if I was going to tell you a story of a random drive-by shooting, and I was going to make up a rapper name, I'd probably make up something as asinine as Glock 9, and I would also say his real name is something equally as asinine as Jaquavius. So, I mean, what way to just doom your child to a life of ain't shitdom. Way to just take your child's future and flush it down the fucking toilet by naming this child Jaquavius. What the fuck? Alright. Anyway, back to this story. News details about the shooting that authorities say targeted 20-year-old Jaquavius Smith, whose stage name is pronounced Glock 9, were included in a warrant affidavit for 19-year-old Joshua Caleb Holder, the suspected driver of the BMW, who was arrested Wednesday. The shooting happened around 6 p.m. on October 8 outside the mall's food court entrance. According to the affidavit, the entire ambush of Smith and his companions was recorded by mall surveillance cameras, which captured Holder, 19-year-old Trayvon Jaheim Graham, and another man walking through the mall shopping before exiting and getting into the BMW. Interesting. Holder drove with Graham in the passenger seat and the third man in the rear seat, Orlando Police Detective Philip McMiken wrote. The men began circling the mall, but stopped when they found where Smith's vehicle was parked, the affidavit said. Once found, Holder eventually stopped circling the area and parked in a parking spot positioned so that Jaquavius Smith's vehicle and the mall exit were visible at the same time, McMiken wrote. When Smith and those with him walked out of the mall 6 minutes later, Holder drove the vehicle, this is in quotes, drove the vehicle to obtain a clear, unobstructed view, end quote, of them, then stopped, the affidavit said. That's when police say Graham exited the car, fired several rounds towards Smith's group. The shooting sparked a chaotic scene with other shoppers fleeing from the gunfire and led to an evacuation of the mall. Graham got back in the BMW and Holder drove away, McMiken wrote. Graham was arrested early the following morning. He's being held in Orange County Jail without bail on charges of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm and discharging a firearm in public. Holder was booked about 9:30 p.m. Wednesday on charges of attempted first-degree murder with a firearm and driving a vehicle from which shots are fired. His bail is set at just more than $100,000 as of Thursday morning, according to online jail records. Smith was booked the day of the shooting on charges of possessing a firearm by a convicted felon and possession of a short-barreled rifle, stemming from his alleged role in a July 23rd shooting on Bleasdale Avenue. He remained in jail Thursday morning, records showed. Authorities say a rivalry between Smith and fellow rapper Javari Hot Boy Walker, Hot Boy, is at the center of a feud between two gangs, All Family No Friends, tied to Smith, and 438 associated with Walker, which has led to a slew of recent shootings and at least 5 killings. According to a report released by the Orlando Police Department on Thursday, Holder, Graham, and a third person in the car with them at the time of the Millenia Mall shooting are documented 438 members. Smith has denied being a gang leader, telling WFTV Channel 9. That's kind of funny, WFTV. What if it was WTF TV? That'd be good. Telling WFTV Channel 9 that All Family No Friends is his rap company. Van Sean Sands, Jesus Christ with these names. Van Sean Sands, described by authorities as second in command for 438, told Orlando Sentinel 438 does not refer to a gang, but rather a place of housing. All right. Well, I would just like to take this opportunity and say that obviously the town halls were last night, and it was apropos that President Trump condemned white supremacy because, as you can see, people's lives are being terrorized by that. So Here we have a story of a 19-year-old that is facing first-degree murder charges. Life is effectively over, but we'll be paying for him to sit in a jail cell and, I don't know, maybe get a degree that he'll never be able to use because he's a felon. But yeah, so the reason why I kind of wanted to talk about this and the reason why we're postponing Fun Day Friday for this article is because this is the reality, right? As much as we like to, for whatever reason, society's focused on white supremacists, they're on vacation. I'm pretty sure they're all, at some white supremacist vacation resort, just thumbing through news like this and keep it up, boys. You're doing just fine. So for all the talk about white supremacy, can we talk about this? Can we talk about the real problems? Can we talk about why Black Lives Matter doesn't care about this? Can we talk about, the millions of people around the world who lose loved ones over stupid shit like this? Can we talk about the thousands of people who have died this year from shit like this? Of course not. We have to focus on white supremacy, something that is, again, non-existent as far as the problem scale goes of 2020. Haven't seen one instance in 2020. Still looking for it. Haven't seen it. People say Chauvin. We don't know that yet. As much as people want to hate him for that, and they want to tie that together because it fits neatly in their brain, and they don't have to do any further investigation, which is a benefit and a luxury afforded by stereotyping. We don't know that was actually the cause. So, for all of this talk, for President Trump having to condemn it for, the 20th time, can we now move on and talk about the real problem? Because, let's talk to those people at Millenia Mall who are exiting the goddamn food court. And shots just started firing. I mean, I'm chuckling, but this shit is not funny, man. You got a bunch of kids that just threw their damn lives away over something stupid, over two feuding rappers. Both of them are probably trash because rap died a long time ago. This is just, man. But you know what? Lock their asses up. Lock them up. Because a shooting outside of the mall food court, that is brazen. That's not keeping your destructive behavior to your little small section. But again, this is why I don't like going public places. Because people are stupid and people have a reckless disregard for human life. I'll tell you what, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was that story. And, man, I cannot help but feel... I can't help but feel for... On the one hand, you don't feel bad for these kids because, they're doing stupid shit that could get people killed. But at some point in this man's life, this young man's life, this 19-year-old's life, at some point in this 19-year-old's life, while he's staring at bars, getting 2 meals a day, living in a jungle with actual convicted felons, men that are bigger than him, men that are stronger than him, men that are more deadly than him, and him having to live a life of constant vigilance, constant paranoia, at some point, he's going to regret this. And it's going to be too late. It is going to be too late. But as long as we continue to not discuss the real problems, right? As long as we continue to Just stare at white supremacy and say, yep, that's the problem. It's white supremacy all the way. And again, this is not saying that that doesn't exist, but it is saying that that's not the problem right now. And for the uninitiated, right? Because, I think everybody's kind of hip to what Black Lives Matter really is at this point, unless you are just completely oblivious. But for the rest of us, and for the majority of us, or for the whatever number it is of us who never drank that Kool-Aid, so to speak. That's racist. Black Lives Matter. Don't say Kool-Aid. Who never drank that grape drink. For the majority of us who never did, this is why. Like, I'll speak for myself right now. This is why I never was down with Black Lives Matter. Because if that's what the title of your organization is, and that's what you stand for, then this is the fight that you should be fighting. You should be in these communities trying to diffuse dumb shit like this. Feuds over rap. You should be in these communities diffusing dumb shit like this. Feuds over where people were born, what they wear, like just all of the other inane reasons why young black men kill other young black men. But there's no glory in that. There's no press in that. Right? There's none of that. So I could kind of smell through that. And I'm not going to lie to you. I have a pre-programmed bias whenever I hear an organization that is specifically aimed at black people, and black is in the title, or African American is in the title, or Negro is in the title. My guard immediately goes up. And I think a lot of people out there, you would do well to have the same response, because it's usually a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? It's usually candy-coated cyanide. It's usually something that is meant to defraud, to scam, or to deceive you, just wrapped up in brown skin. So, yeah, I never messed with that stuff, man. It's all bullshit. It is all bullshit, period. Because again, they won't mention this. And this isn't the only story. This is just one that I heard today that really stood out to me, because it happened in a mall in Orlando that I've been to, which is actually a nice area. But they won't mention this at all. And for all those people who still support Black Lives Matter, I got a question for you, because at this point they've collected millions of dollars. Please find me one article where they've donated any of that money to any kind of inner city anything, to any kind of victim or the victim's family, or somebody who just got caught in the crossfire. Show me one penny that they've donated to any of these black people. But keep giving them money and not asking where it's going. Somebody's got to fly Joe Biden around, so keep it up. But yeah, man, this is just another story of people wasting their life over stupid shit. And, not for nothing, but a lot of innocent people, a lot of people who just wanted to go to the mall. I just wanted to take my fat ass down there, walk the inside. Some fat asshole in an Asics tracksuit was just taking laps around the mall, stopped in for a Cinnabon, and almost, caught a bullet in his ass. So, not for nothing, man. It is sad to see these kids throw away their lives like this. But, hey, when you sit at the big boy table, you got to put your chips in like everybody else. So, if you're going to play these games, and that's what you get. But this is why. It's stuff like this. I try to cuss a little bit less. But it's stuff like this, man, that keeps me from. That's why I'll continue to roll my eyes when I hear white supremacy is such a problem. White supremacy, unless you're talking about this kind of white supremacy, which if I were a white supremacist, I would love this shit. Number one, I would love rap music. I mean, what better music for a white supremacist to listen to than music that really focuses on black people either selling drugs to each other or killing each other wholesale. So, I mean, yeah, I would definitely probably subscribe to what's this fucking loser's name? Glock. Glock 9. There you go. There you go. With a name like that, of course he would end up like this. With a rap name like that, of course this would happen at some point in his life. And I guarantee you, he won't learn shit from this. He'll either be dead soon or he'll be arrested on some other shit. So, but no, I don't want to hear shit about white supremacy. I really don't. Not till we address this. Because this is the bigger problem. Again, can we apply a little bit of triage logic, right? Can we use a little bit of triage logic? If you're a surgeon and somebody wheels in a patient who is missing his arm and bleeding from the socket where his arm used to be on the one side, and on the other side, he's got a minor laceration on his hand. Why are we treating the minor laceration on his hand first? Why don't we treat the more severe injury first? If you come home and you pull in your driveway, your house is on fire, and you also notice that your hose is unraveled. Well, shit. My hose is unraveled. That's a tripping hazard. God damn it. Let me just wind this thing up. Nothing? But the house on fire, we're just going to leave that? I can't get behind the logic of let's focus on the minutia. Let's do the very least. Because if everybody was serious, then shit like this is where we would be focusing our efforts. Shit like this would be addressed by the Democrats that quote unquote love black people so much. But it doesn't get addressed. It doesn't get addressed because there's no money in this. There's no grandstanding in this. And because they genuinely don't want to fix this problem. There's also that little kernel. They don't want to fix this problem. They don't actually want to fix the problem because once they fix the problem, then why would you need them? Again, it's the same theory behind people electing activists into politics or people just following activists to begin with. What is an activist? They are literally rabble rousers. It is their job to get people all worked up over something, right? So, let's say I'm an activist for bald men. And I want everybody in America to be bald. And I'm spreading the bald gospel. And if you have hair, then you are the enemy. Well, as long as I come across people with hair, guess what? I have a purpose. I have a job. I can go back to bald people and say, this is why I need you to give me money so I can fight this good fight. But what happens if one day everybody shaves their head and everybody's bald? And I go back to my constituency and I say, yeah, we did it. Yeah, we did it. Everybody's bald. Yeah. So, can I get that money so I can go spread the gospel? And they're going to look around and say, well, I don't see any people with hair, bro. I think we're good. I think we did it, man. I think we're good, man. And now I don't have a job. Now I don't have a purpose. So literally, I am incentivized to ensure that there's always people with hair. Same silly example, right? Silly little example. Obviously, there are no bald activists aside from myself and Larry David. But let's talk about something. Let's apply that logic to something serious. These racial activists, these people who are claiming the boogeyman of white supremacy. Well, of course they don't like an America where everybody gets along, because if everybody's getting along, Al Sharpton doesn't have a job. If everybody's getting along, then Ta-Nehisi Coates doesn't have a show. So these people, you have to understand, they're literally subsidized, financially incentivized at the very least, to ensure that the very thing they're fighting for never happens. But we listen to him and like, yeah, no, he's for us. He's for himself. He's for his pockets. He's for his dividends. Anyway, all right. I'm gonna call a quick timeout and do a little reset. And I'm gonna get back at you, man, because it's Fun Day Friday. I wanted to get that out the way first, but yeah, we'll lighten it up here, man, because I want to talk to you about something else that's a big problem. Another sip of this horse shit, man. I had to get some Kentucky oil, man. This just doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel natural. Anyway, y'all. For this episode of Planet Hog, man, I am checking on out of here. But I'll be right back at you in a little bit. Peace.